Okay, so your Fabricam order management orchestrator is officially ready to start delegating tasks. But for that orchestration to actually work, every single child agent needs to be created with a crystal clear identity and configured with the exact right invocation approach. The architectural logic here in Copilot Studio requires some pretty strict governance. Let's dive straight into the mechanical prerequisites of getting these agents instantiated.
Starting with Phase 1, creating and naming your child agents.
Setting one up is actually a really straightforward mechanical process. You just open your parent agent right there in Copilot Studio, navigate over to the Agents page, hit Add an Agent, and then select New Child Agent. And just like that, you've spun up a lightweight agent inside your existing environment. But keep in mind, instantiation is literally just building the shell. The very next step, and this is absolutely crucial, is assigning it a strict, completely unambiguous identity. Honestly, the operational impact of your naming conventions cannot be overstated here. Let's say you use an effective, targeted name like Order Status Agent. That instantly reflects a specific, tightly bounded scope, right? On the flip side, if you go with generic naming, something like Agent 1 or Support Helper, you're just asking for massive friction down the line. Imagine trying to debug a routing issue or combing through orchestration logs in a high-volume enterprise system. Precise, descriptive names strip away the ambiguity and will literally save your engineering team countless hours. So once we've got that clear identity locked in, we really need to look at how the system dynamically evaluates user intent. Which brings us to dynamic description-based routing. This is where natural language understanding really takes the wheel. When you're figuring out how an orchestrator actually invokes a child agent, description-based routing is your default NLU evaluator for catching incoming messages. By selecting the option that says the agent chooses based on description, you are explicitly telling the orchestrator to dynamically weigh every single incoming user message against the descriptions you wrote for your child agents. This dynamic evaluation, it's the absolute foundation of a robust routing architecture. Picture a standard architecture flow. A user query comes in, it passes right through the orchestrator's NLU, gets routed to the relevant child agent, and then a response is generated. Because the orchestrator is handling that NLU dynamically, it's brilliant at managing phrasing variations. So one user typing "where's my package" and another typing "has my order shipped," both of those are going to successfully route straight to the order status child agent, and you didn't have to hard code a single rule to make it happen. But to pull off that level of flexibility, we have to engineer some incredibly strict boundaries between competing child agents.
So let's talk about designing effective descriptions. Think of this as the prompt engineering you need to properly guide the orchestrator.
The whole trick here is writing descriptions that act as highly precise signals. Take this description, for example. It works perfectly because it firmly anchors itself in a specific domain, order fulfillment, and it relies on concrete query-type language like status, tracking, and delivery. But actually, what it doesn't say is just as important. It actively avoids overlapping terms, things like shipment delay or missing package. If you included those, you'd instantly blur the lines with a returns or delivery issues agent. But you know, what happens when a user query blurs those carefully crafted lines anyway? Let's say a user types, "my package hasn't arrived yet. Where is it?" Think about that for a second. Is that a status inquiry, a delivery issue? It could easily go either way, right? Queries exactly like this one are going to test your NLU boundary limits, and it really highlights why testing your descriptions during the design phase is an absolute architectural necessity. You've got to throw clearly in-scope and adjacent questions at the orchestrator just to observe which child agent actually responds. Refining those descriptions early is how you prevent incredibly costly live routing collisions once you're in production. Now, when probabilistic NLU just isn't cutting it, that's when we have to pivot to system-level deterministic control.
Moving on to deterministic trigger events. This is where we shift away from natural language and step into absolute system control. Explicit trigger events completely bypass natural language matching. They offer you pure deterministic control. You're going to use this approach when your routing needs to be 100% predictable, regardless of how the user phrases things, or when the child agent needs to handle a specific system-level event instead of a standard conversational query. Let's look at a few of the most critical system-level triggers you'll be leaning on.
As an AI architect, there are times you simply have to enforce predictable routing. For instance, the "it's redirected to" trigger lets you explicitly call an agent directly from a topic. Then you have "a plan completes," which fires right when the main agent finishes executing all of its planned steps. And my personal favorite, the "user is inactive for a while," which triggers after a set period of silence. Really understanding these triggers gives you absolute end-to-end control over the conversation lifecycle, meaning you can automate some seriously complex workflows across pretty much any industry.
To put that into perspective, consider a business process outsourcing or BPO automation scenario. Let's say an inactivity timer runs out. That initiates a system trigger, which then prompts the child agent to actually reach out and wait for a user response. So, a child agent configured to fire after, say, 5 minutes of inactivity can send a proactive customer check-in just asking if they still need help. That kind of proactive, outbound behavior, it is completely impossible if you're relying on dynamic NLU alone. All right, finally, we need to talk about how to resolve conflicts when multiple agents end up competing for the exact same event.
So, let's look at execution priority and conditions and how we manage that execution order.
Within Copilot Studio, the condition field lets you define super specific criteria that absolutely must be met before an agent can be called. You can use the built-in condition builder for the basics, or if you need some really complex logic, you can dive into the PowerFX formula editor to restrict an agent from firing. As an example, you could filter an agent so it only fires during channel-specific interactions. Imagine a GovTech compliance conversation that is only allowed to happen explicitly within a secure Microsoft Teams channel. But even with conditions perfectly set up, you still have to understand the strict execution order if you want to avoid subtle, maddening routing errors.
So here's how it works. Copilot Studio uses a very strict built-in execution order. The "an activity occurs" triggers, those always fire first. Then, your specific triggers like message received or custom client event fire next. And finally, the agent chooses, which is our description-based routing. That always fires last. A super common pitfall here is ambiguous routing when multiple agents share the exact same tier. Because within the same tier, the older agents will fire first by default, unless you go in and configure explicit priority numbers to enforce that deterministic behavior. And honestly, this brings us to a massive operational challenge that every single AI architect has to face.
You really have to consider the long-term operational impact of your configuration choices here. Sure, you start with 2 or 3 child agents and dynamic routing works flawlessly, it feels like magic. But as your enterprise architecture scales up to dozens of child agents, suddenly you're dealing with finance, HR, IT support, maybe massive logistics operations. How are your priority numbers and those carefully crafted description boundaries actually going to hold up when thousands of overlapping NLU intents are hitting your system every single minute?